Greetings YouTube. Today we're taking a look at a Buck Knives Bucktool USA. Now I have no idea if this is actually made in the USA or they're just kind of extolling the fact that Buck Knives is a US company. I'm not sure, but it is what it is. I actually bought this at a yard sale for $1, so I didn't have much of an investment in this. I think that this right here is a little on the small side. I wear a 2-inch belt, and that's not going to fit my 2-inch belt comfortably at all. It would fit, business style belts, dress belts. But how many folks that wear dress belts carry this kind of a pouch? You know what I mean? Maybe a web belt, like kind of a military web belt people style. Maybe that'll fit in there. I'm not sure, but I don't carry. I don't wear that kind of thing. I wear a 2-inch wide, heavy duty belt based on a fireman style. So here we have the snap, and it's a pretty solid snap. I mean, I'm not worried about that coming opening at all, and I happen to like snaps better than Velcro. Snaps and zippers I think are superior because Velcro it fails and it gets dirty and it gets cluttered and stuff. So here we go. Here is the Here is the Bucktool, and it is patent pending, and then it shows you the different features it's got. A knife, can opener, and a couple of different Phillips heads, and on this side it is showing you another blade and some slot heads. And this is model 360 USA, so maybe this was made in the USA. I'm not sure. Now, one of the things that intrigued me about it was this. That's a particular motion for opening a multi-tool that I don't think I've ever encountered before. And I gotta tell you, I think I know why. Because it feels it's sloppy. It's moving in my hand in a way that I don't find comfortable. I mean, it is a nice narrow pair of needle nose, which is cool, and it's got some good texturing. It comes to a nice close. I'll give them that. That is a nice, even close right there. It's ever so slightly more open in the back, but that's okay for needle nose. But yeah, the handle design to me makes this less than an ideal gripper. You've got your larger in here. See, just like that. See that right there? I went to open this to demonstrate something, and in the process of opening it, I began to fold that. That's not a good design in my book. Then we have wire cutters way down there. I'll be honest, I did not try to cut any kind of wire with this thing. Then we have the tools that are available here. So you fold one of them out of the way, and then you can access the tools. So let's take a look at the tools. Here we have a scalloped blade. It's got a chrome finish on it. Nice nail through blade nail nick. So it's not really a nail nick; it's a hole. And it came out of the package with a nice edge. Seriously, I don't know how long the guy who owned this before me carried it, but he didn't beat on it, and the edge is very, very solid. We have locks on these things, and there is your lock button. So you push down on that, and that disengages them. Sorry. Here we go. That disengages it, but the tools themselves, the other tools, I find very, very stiff. Because when you pull out, they're all coming out at the same time. So that's the bottle opener, a bottle opener and a can opener. So you know what those look like. Here we have the two Phillips on this one, and they're the rectangular design, or rather one Phillips. So that's the rectangular design. So it's wider this way than in this way. I've never found those to be particularly good as screwdrivers. And then we have this, which is a lanyard hole, which I thought was kind of weird, because how often do you need a lanyard hole on a multi-tool, particularly if you're carrying it in this? So that's a bit of a mystery to me why you would need that particular feature, but it's got it in case you want it. Okay, we're going to close this one, and we're going to pop open that one, and now we're going to look at the other side. And now we have the fine edge, which also has scalloping on it, which is a strange design choice. You have an entire blade, which is, you know, got a serrated edge, and then you decide to put more serrations on this, which is a fine edge, and the fine edge is okay. The guy who owned this before me may have used this one more. It has a slightly hollow grind to it, which is not a design I like. I prefer flat grinds. But I think that's weird, that you'd have an entire blade dedicated to serration, and then you also have your other blade with more serration. I question the need for that kind of thing, so we're going to close that up. And then we're going to come down here. Yep, that's not fun to get out of there. We have a broad regular head, we have a medium regular head, and we have a fine regular head, which is the longest intriguing link. And that's actually small enough. You might be able to use that on glasses, because that is small enough and thin enough, I think, to pull that off in a pinch. I don't necessarily know if I'd want to use it every day. And getting these things back in, the regular heads right here, the slot heads, are actually kind of sharp. Pushing it back in, you can actually feel it on your fingers. So this is not something I'm keeping in my collection. I'll be donating this to Goodwill. But I purchased it specifically because I wanted to do a review about it, because I thought the design was kind of weird. I really think this is a strange kind of decision. I understand why they did it, because this means that they're cannot be accused of copying some other company. And, you know, there's no, patent considerations, and lawyers don't get involved. Things don't get litigious. But you also create a tool, I think, which is, it's weirdly floppy. And when I'm talking about a multi-tool that I'm going to be using as a potential pair of pliers, the word floppy is not something I want entering the lexicon in that description. So I can't recommend this Bucktool. If anybody out there loves this thing, tell me. I'd love to know, because I think this is kind of a design failure. And I don't really like the tool selection they got. I question why they have so much serration. Hard to get out. The spring works pretty well, so I'll give them props for that. But yeah, I'm not impressed by the Bucktool. If anybody out there is, I'd love to know.